FS Securities. We are an education and information firm on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. And every morning I go through what happened overnight in the financial markets and try to forecast what we may see these coming days and weeks. I show you how investors and traders can make money on our stock market. I show you what is hot and what is not, and what you should hold and what you should fold. So enjoy the presentation and give us some feedback if you wish. And if you like it, please review it and share it and rate it if you like. Okay, what happened overnight? We can see that the Dow at 26,680, above the last 2 days trading, as you can see here. The S&P 500 up 0.8%, and the Nasdaq at all-time high at 10,768, up 2.5%. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was up 0.7%. In London, the FTSE 100 index was down 0.5%. In Germany, the DAX was up nearly 1%. The Nikkei index in Japan was almost steady. In China, the Shanghai index was up 3%. On our market yesterday, we were down 2 days ago, up to 3 days ago. 2 days ago we were up, and yesterday we were down. So look at 6,001, that's where we finished yesterday night. And you can see that at one stage we got up to 6,033 the day before. But compared to what happened 3 days ago, we were almost steady, up by nearly 80 points. Okay, how does that work out? 6959 6033, and obviously there has been some changes here. All right, gold at 1,817, up $7 overnight. Silver $20.19, up 43 cents. Brent oil $43.20 US per barrel, and West Texas crude oil $40.81 US per barrel, up 22 cents. And you can see what happened comparing that with 3 days ago. We're almost not moving on the West Texas, and you can also say that the Brent is also very steady, hanging around the 40 to 43 range, and that's probably where it's going to be for a while. The Australian dollar 70.2 US cents, 61.3 euro cents, and 55.4 British pence. Now looking at the charts, this is the Dow, the weekly and the daily, and then we look at the ASX 200, our market gauge, weekly and daily. Look at the indicators, the parabolic stop and reverse, shown here by the red dots. Below the candles, that's bullish. The stochastic, slightly bullish. The blue line above the red line, slightly bullish, hanging very close to the 80% line. And looking at the 9-week moving average, that's the orange dotted line above the 21-week moving average, that's bullish. The candles for number of weeks happen to be above the 21-week moving average, that's bullish. It is very likely that the market between now and the election to go back and visit the all-time high of 29,700 from memory. Okay, on the daily, you can see the last 4 days, it's on the downside, although yesterday the market was up 9 points in comparison to the close the previous day. But you can see here that the trend is down. The only thing they can see here is that the parabolic stop and reverse, those red dots, bullish. Stochastic, slightly bearish. You can say more or less slightly bearish, the blue line below the red. And it's flirting with the 80% line. this is actually the area where we can say it's overbought, and down the 20% and below is the oversold. The good thing here is that the 50-day moving average happens to be above the 100-day moving average, but still the 100-day moving average and the 50-day moving average below the 200, that is really more or less bearish on the very long term. Looking at our market, so overall the conclusion here is that we are a lot more positive than bearish on the market between now and the next election in America in November. And looking at our market, from the very high to very low that we've seen early in the year, we managed to very quickly go back to the 50% retracement. This is the line here. And we got stuck between the 50% and the 61.8 Fibonacci area, as you can see here. So we are stuck in this area here. So again, at the moment, we can say that this is actually the area where we might see the next few weeks. On the daily chart, you've got the parabolic stop and reverse in those red dots, and it's going up, and below the candles, that's bullish. This line here, the orange line, happens to be the 9-day moving average, happens to be above the black line, which is the 21-day moving average, happened to be above it. The 9 happened to be above the 21, that's bullish. And the candles happen to be above the 21-day moving average, that's bullish. The stochastic, by the way, is turned bearish. As you can see here, it's below. So again, you've got volatility in the market. And again, you've got to really assess all the indicators by making sure that we have 5 out of 8 indicators on the weekly and 5 out of 8 indicators on the daily, confirming one another to either bullish or bearish or neutral. Okay, looking at the forecast, which we pick up from the charts, the XJO, that's the market gauge, bullish for the aggressive and the very aggressive traders. These are actually in and out of the market more frequently than the investor, who happens to be in and out of the market on a very long term. The only thing for the investor, we can see Newcrest Mines happens to be bullish for the long term. CIMIC, the old Leighton Holdings, bearish. Wesfarmers, bullish. And Woodside Petroleum, bearish. That's for the investor. For the conservative trader, which most of you are, BHP bullish, Macquarie Bank bullish, Rio bullish, and Woolworths bullish. And Woodside Petroleum is bearish across all type of investors and traders. The investor, we look at the monthly and the weekly, and we need to have 5 out of 8 indicators on both to confirm each other, and that have to be on a regular basis. Of course, the weekly would change every week, and the monthly indicators will change once a month. So okay, that's the indicators showing the stocks. Okay, looking at the volume, you can see that the volume is going down, from nearly 4.5 billion transactions to slightly above 3, and the market one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down. Volatility in the market is the key factor. So it's a market for the traders more than a market for the investor. Okay, finally, what happened yesterday, looking at the most active traders, we are trading OPY, and it was up nearly 6%. At one stage, it was up nearly 9%. And OPY the day before was up 10%. So over the last 2 days, OPY has been very attractive, and we are trading it at the moment. Afterpay is also doing well, close to 70. Remember, we traded Afterpay when it was down $16. Well, unfortunately, we closed it well before it got to 70. Other companies, Evolution up nearly 2%, Goodman Group 1.5%, Northern Star 1.4%. They are yellow, highlighted yellow, because they are 2 days in a row of being active and advancing. Okay, announcement today. We've got the RBA talking at 12:30. That's the Governor Lowe, Philip Lowe. And then we've got nothing else that is important in my view, unless you follow what's happening in England and Canada. All right, well, that's it for us here. Before we go, that's the volume. We scan the market and we see which stock has exceeded the 50 period moving average. In here we've got the 50-week moving average shown here. For instance, RIA, over 50 weeks, the weekly average volume is 8.5 million, and last week we've seen 10.2 million transactions, and the price of RIA went up by 6%. So would you like to trade RIA on Monday? Of course you would have. That was yesterday morning. Wesfarmers, again 18% above the average. Now on the downside for the top 50, nothing. But for the mid cap, for the aggressive and the very aggressive traders, we've got Hub 24, up 14% in the price, and the volume is nearly double. So we may want to have a look at Hub and Sandfire also. Let's see if they actually performed the same situation yesterday morning or yesterday at the close. Just remember Hub and Sandfire and RIA. Well, yesterday RIA did not produce extraordinary volume. It may have actually gone up, but not actually it was down, and the volume wasn't really great. So that's why we only put in here the stocks with extraordinary volume above the 50 period moving average. Galaxy, Pilbara and Macmillan Shakespeare, we couldn't see Hub 24. On the downside, we've got two new companies we haven't really assessed. This company was down nearly 4%, and the volume was slightly above the average. Okay, finally, this presentation, you need to know that was prepared for general information only. It did not take into account the investment objective, financial situation, or any needs of your portfolio, because we don't know if you are a trader with us or not. And in any case, you need to consult with us or with your professional advisor. Everything we said today is for general advice only. So before you take any action, you need to talk to us. And if you want to talk to us, you can write to me. You can actually write that email address, George@FS, stand for full service, George@fssecurities.com.au, or you can ring my mobile. Now, if you're ringing from overseas, you need to put 61, the country code, and you don't need the 0. 61411259526. If you're ringing from Australia onto my mobile or text me, you dial or you text 0411259526. Okay, finally, happy trading and hopefully you make some money.